Welcome everyone to the International Year of Quantum Global Industry Challenge Launch Day webinar on World Quantum Day. Good morning to everyone from our home region of Washington, DC. Good afternoon from here in London and viewers from Europe. And good evening to everyone as far away as Australia. We appreciate your commitment. Thank you all for joining and happy World Quantum Day. I'm Kieran Collinson, Program Manager at Connected DMV, the organizers of the challenge, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Next slide, please, Anna. Firstly, thanks to all our incredible organizing team, qBraid, Aqora, and the Quantum World Congress. The challenge is in collaboration with the American Physical Society, and we're proud to be an official program of the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. We would also like to thank our use case providers, JPMorganChase, Wells Fargo, the World Bank Group, and NeuroQuantum Nexus, who've made the challenge possible. Also, to our other partners from key academic cohorts from around the world, we are excited to hear from all these partners and industry experts, and thank you to them for being here today. Finally, to all the participants joining us today, thank you. Before we get into the agenda, a few housekeeping rules to make sure everything is flowing. With this being a webinar, participants will be muted and off camera, and the presenters will also be muted and off camera until I introduce them. Please use the Q&A function to ask questions throughout. Make sure you address the speaker or organization so we know who to direct the questions to. The questions won't be posted, but our team is working behind the scenes to highlight the questions. However, if yours isn't answered, we will be hosting office hours and aim to post unanswered questions on the Aqora discussion page. Please do not raise hands. We will only take questions through the Q&A chat. And with that, let's get to the agenda for today's launch event. To kick things off, we'll hear from the American Physical Society and the International Year of Quantum, level setting the importance of quantum in 2025 and how this industry-focused challenge fits into the IYQ. Next, we'll hear from the CEO and President of Connected DMV on the challenge framework, competition logistics, format, and timeline. To understand the platforms the challenge will be run on, we are joined by our platform providers, qBraid and Aqora, who will be giving a live demo, followed by Q&A. We then move into the industry use cases, with all 5 challenge providers framing their challenges and giving details on their desired outcomes. This will be followed with Q&A if time permits. Finally, Connected DMV will wrap up with what to expect on the road to the awards ceremony at the 2025 Quantum World Congress. So with that, let's move into the first talk. I'd like to introduce Paul Kadin-Zaminsky, Associate Professor of Physics at Bard College and one of the 4 global coordinators named by UNESCO for the International Year of Quantum. The floor is yours, Paul.
Thank you very much, Kieran, and happy World Quantum Day, everybody, in the International Year of Quantum. Anna, could you put up the slides? So I thought first I would just mention the origin story behind the International Year of Quantum. The next slide, Anna. That the reason for having 2025 be the International Year of Quantum is that it marks 100 years of quantum mechanics. And as a physicist, in collaboration with other physicists, we thought that this momentous anniversary, 100th birthday, should be something that the entire world should celebrate, given all the different ways that quantum science and technology has impacted our lives and our understanding of the world around us. So we started planning this back in 2018 and gradually gathered together scientific societies, unions, organizations from all over the world to try to coalesce around 2025 as the date to and the year to really have a global celebration. That culminated last year. Next slide. With bringing this to the United Nations. So for the first time in the 78-year history of the United Nations, quantum science and technology was on the agenda of the General Assembly. The resolution to mark 2025 as the International Year of Quantum was one that was unanimously agreed to by every single country in the world. The resolution was actively co-sponsored by over 70 countries, including large countries like the United States, China, India, and smaller medium-sized countries, including Ghana, who is a lead sponsor. The image you see here is the Ghanaian delegate walking to the podium to present the resolution to the General Assembly. So this is our way of sending out essentially an invitation to people all over the world to help celebrate quantum in this year. It was developed, I would say, the year in tandem with the World Quantum Day as a way of using these anniversaries and these important dates to help to foreground quantum, particularly for the public. So if you go to the next slide, you can see the key points of the resolution of how to celebrate the International Quantum. So the top line recommendation from the United Nations is to have activities at all levels aimed at increasing public awareness of the importance of quantum science. And thinking about the public as a whole, the 8 billion people around the world, it's a relatively small slice of society who understands the importance of quantum science technology, and many of you on this call are in that category. And the mission for the year is to help is to use those few people who understand this to get out and try to explain this importance to people all around the world. And things like the Global Industry Challenge and the other work of Quantum World Congress are in that vein. The other recommendations, including enhancing international multilateral and interdisciplinary scientific cooperation, as well as ensuring a focus on the application of quantum science technology for sustainable development, which is one of the UN's major goals. So the UN has declared this, but it also stresses that all the activities that may arise from this are voluntary contributions. So we really rely on everyone around the world coalescing and using this occasion of this year to initiate and facilitate their own activities in order to help the public understand more about the importance of quantum science and technology. That's the main goal of the year. And anyone, anywhere can initiate an activity at any level. If you go to the next slide, you'll see a screenshot from our website. So quantum2025.org is the main website for the year. You'll find all sorts of different things there. But one of the main things I'll highlight is the events page. So anyone, anywhere can submit an event. You'll see from the screenshot the Global Industry Challenge submitted their event for today, but also events from Brazil, Montana, Malaysia, Italy, the Netherlands, all around the world. Anyone who submits an event can use the IYQ logo. That's a logo that anybody can brand their own event with and use the occasion of this year to help facilitate this understanding as globally as possible. So I'd like to thank Quantum World Congress for all the things that they've initiated during this year. And I hope all the attendees can go out, if they haven't done so already, and initiate their own activities, facilitate their own activities to help make this the best 100th birthday party possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. It's amazing to be part of such an exciting initiative, and yes, we hope that everyone watching goes off and starts their own initiatives also. So building on that, I'd also like to introduce Claudia Fracciola, Head of Public Engagement for the American Physical Society. Over to you, Claudia.
Hi, everyone. Happy World Quantum Day. On behalf of the American Physical Society and as a representative of the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology, it's truly an honor to join you all for the launch of the 2025 Global Industry Challenge. Something that, when I was asked if I could come and say a few words, I was delighted because this challenge really captures the essence of what the International Year of Quantum is. And as Paul was mentioning, the IYQ was established to create global awareness of quantum science and technology, not only to celebrate their scientific and technological advances, but to highlight how these technological advances are already benefiting society and how they can help us tackle some of the most urgent challenges we're facing. So we are proud that the IYQ aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. That was one of the main things that we had to show when we were writing the proposal. And then from climate actions to health equity, from resilient infrastructures to financial inclusions, quantum sciences has the potential to help us design smarter systems, unlock new discoveries, and better understand and manage complex global issues. So an initiative like this one, the challenge helps make that potential tangible. At the heart of this challenge is something that we care deeply about, which is access and inclusion. And this is more than a competition. It's actually a call to action to democratize access to quantum tools, platforms, and ideas. It's about ensuring that the benefits of quantum innovation aren't limited to just a few industries or regions. So we need quantum solutions that are developed with and for diverse communities around the world, not only in the global north, but also in regions and communities that are often left out without high tech conversation. So challenges like the Quantum Industry Challenge broadens participation, inspires creativity, and invites more voices to shape the future. So that's why APS is proud to support the 2025 Global Industry Challenge, and it provides a space where industry, academia, and startups and public institutions can come together to showcase breakthroughs, but build in a collaborative way, right? That's what we all want to make sure that happens in IYQ. So to all the participants and partners here today, thank you for being a part of this journey. Your work represents the best of quantum can be: innovation, inclusivity, and impactful. So let's make this year and this challenge a powerful step toward a more connected, equitable, and quantum-enabled future. So thank you, everybody, and good luck.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you for those words, and the support from APS has shown to the challenge. It is an important and exciting year for quantum, and we'll be hearing more later about utilizing quantum to tackle some of those SDG goals that you mentioned. So by now, you might be wondering, what is the challenge? Well, with all the details about the Global Industry Challenge, I'd like to welcome Connected DMV's President and CEO, George Thomas.
Thank you so much, Kieran. Thank you, Paul and Claudia, for your support and guidance through this process. Hello, everyone, and happy World Quantum Day. Welcome to everyone who is joining us from across the globe in celebrating the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology by participating in this inaugural Global Industry Challenge. My name is George Thomas, and I serve as the President and CEO of Connected DMV. We are a charitable, not-for-profit organization focused on responsible economic development. We are based in Greater Washington, but our mission is to help build next-generation growth industries for the public good, and we work with partners globally on most of our efforts. Next slide, please. The Global Industry Challenge itself falls under Connected DMV's efforts to help establish, develop, and commercialize the quantum industry. We work with like-minded partners from across the globe, which includes academia, research, industry, users, investment community, the community at large, and ecosystems. And we've been delivering programs under the umbrella of the Potomac Quantum Innovation Center and serve as the host of the Quantum World Congress. Next slide, please. Let's look at a summary of the challenge itself. The challenge is a competition for innovators, entrepreneurs, and industry leaders to engage in collaborative action to solve practical use cases using quantum, AI, and adjacent technologies. The challenge will be live today. Participating teams will engage online using the Aqora platform and will have access to quantum computers and simulators via qBraid. The challenge will be run in 3 phases, with down selects happening at the end of each phase. The challenge runs through June 27th of this year, and winners will be awarded prizes at the Quantum World Congress, which happens in September this year in the Greater Washington region. Next slide, please. This is a busy slide, I know, but this is the framework for the Global Industry Challenge. The 2025 challenge covers 4 key sectors, 1 challenge each from life sciences, from risk management and insurance and infrastructure, and 2 challenges from financial services. The Global Industry Challenge is working with global nodes of the Quantum Accord, which includes Canada, Australia, Netherlands, and the United States, as kind of like the focal points to push this out to provide outreach in various parts of the globe and serve as hubs for this. As the competition is being run virtually, we have participants, industry leaders from across the globe working hand in hand to ensure that there is valuable outcomes and impact from doing this process. Participating teams can work on 5 industry-defined use cases. These challenges are from what we consider key sectors that are driving the quantum industry forward. The teams will work on these challenges. You can choose 1 or you can choose all 5 and compete to develop viable solutions for each of these use cases. Finalists will have access to multiple quantum computers and simulators from the leading quantum companies shown here. You can go look for specifics of the types of machines and the types of access on the challenge website itself. But these do represent a very broad swath of the major computing and simulating platforms available for quantum computing as we move forward. And we're really pleased to have their support and partnership as we have built this out. And then finally, the academic cohorts. These are representing many of the leading institutions globally who are participating. And these are formal groups that have come together to deliver or participate in the challenge itself. For those of you who are on this webinar but are not, don't have formal academic cohorts formed, we have, please contact us and we can kind of work out what global recognition can be done to move that forward. Next slide, please. The first kind of view of the challenges themselves, and this is just a summary slide. Like I said, we have two financial services, one from Wells Fargo and one from JPMorganChase. We are very lucky to have the World Bank Group participating around climate risk and risk management and insurance and the framing for that. We have a challenge from life sciences under the umbrella of the NeuroQuantum Nexus, which is essentially a group that includes industry, academia, and other institutions led by the University of Maryland, Cleveland Clinic, Pickwick, and others. And finally, we have a challenge focused in transportation and logistics that is provided by MITRE. And it is focused on chemical reactions for asphalt. We are really, really thrilled to have this broad swath of challenges that you can participate in and types of solutions that these providers are looking for and will help lead the judging for. Next slide, please. So to get into the very fine details of one aspect of it, the challenge details themselves, the challenge is online. It is available from April 15th to June 27th. There will be 3 phases to it, which are down select at the end of phase 1 and another down select at the end of phase 2. The phase 1, essentially, for all of you on the call and everybody who will be listening to the recording, the basic criteria right now is for you to kind of submit by May 5th your first version, a 1-page PDF that consists of the steps you'll take to start this challenge, a high-level overview of the proposed solution, and your technical approach. We are really looking forward to having you participate. We are really looking forward to support solutions that come out of this. And I know I speak for all of the industry challenge providers who will be speaking shortly to go into a little bit more detail on the challenges themselves, that they are looking forward to having this global community help support move the needle forward for quantum. With that, Kieran, let me hand the mic back over to you.
Thank you, George. We hope that gave a comprehensive insight into the challenge. And remember, any questions you might have, please put them in the Q&A and we'll aim to address them either today or in the discussion forums. So now that we have a good overview of the program, I'd like to bring to the floor our platform providers to demo the platforms you'll be using. First, we have Janus Stuberman, co-founder and CEO of Aqora, showing the true global nature of the challenge and joining us from Berlin. Over to you, Janus.
Thanks, Kieran, and also thanks, George and the other speakers. Hi, everyone. So I'm Janus. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Aqora. With Aqora, we are building a community platform to discover quantum computing use cases, solutions, and data sets. Think Kaggle meets Hugging Face for quantum. And I want to show you, so let me see if I can properly do it, how you will access the use cases during the event. So we have, right, if you navigate to Aqora.io, and I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see that.
Confirm. Right. You will first see the landing page and you will receive an email from us to set up your account. You can go to the platform and go to the events tab. As long as you're not signed in, you won't be able to see the event here. But if I'm going to sign in with my account here, which is added to the event, see, I will see the event here in the event section, from where you can access this overview page to get all the information that is shared today, again, in a written format. And you will also be able to access the individual use cases that George was already showing before. Yeah, so you will be added to the event. You will see the competitions here. There will be the agenda, the rules, and then especially important for you, there is this discussion section where you can raise your questions for the event. We will be notified by email to reply to you. And there's also a thread to find teammates in case you don't have any yet, right? So from this page, you can have the communication with us and the teammates, and also access the use cases here. So on each of these use cases, you will have, again, an overview page with the challenge description. There will be another discussion section to have discussions specifically for these challenges, if there are any questions. You will also see the leaderboard, for which I will share some more information. And there is this launch on qBraid button that Kanav will explain you, because actually you can, after you join the competition, you can check out some data and make your submissions after working on the qBraid platform. And once you make your submission, you will actually rank on this leaderboard. So your score will actually show in which phase, to which phase of this competition you made your submission. And then you can see how you rank. And just to show this, when you rank on such leaderboards, you will also rank on our global leaderboards. You can access on Aqora, our leaderboard, as we built the Aqora platform also as a way to build up your quantum portfolio. So for those of you who have a GitHub account, this might look a bit familiar. You can earn some badges here for your profile and also show the activity on comments and submissions that you make. Right, so just again, you can navigate from the events tab. You will see this one, reach out to us if you cannot see it. And then from here, access the individual use cases and the discussion tab. And with that, over to Kanav.
Great, thank you, Yannis. And your team, I think we're also making available on office hours. So
yes.
we'll be posting that online, and any additional questions or issues, we'll have people able to help through that.
Absolutely, yeah. Ideally, reach out in this discussion tab to us.
Yes, thank you, Yannis. So next up for the platform demo is Kanav Setia, co-founder and CEO of qBraid. qBraid's been a valuable partner and collaborator with Connected DMV since they won the inaugural Quantum World Congress startup pitch competition back in 2022. So please, Kanav, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Kieran. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we got that.
Perfect. So just a quick note, this is our landing page, and in order to build solution for various challenges, you'll come here. If you don't have an account, you make an account with us. It's really straightforward. We allow sign in with Google, so you should be all set within 30 seconds. And you'll be taken to this page, which is where all your management happens, where it shows you different plans and how much resources you have available. You'll also have access to devices, quantum jobs. So devices is where you can take a look about like all the different devices which will be available. And we'll go through selection procedure throughout the competition. And eventually, when you do need access to these quantum computers, we'll work with you to provide access to them. And then ultimately where things will happen is on this lab platform. So you can click launch on lab and you'll be taken to a lab platform. And you can see that this is a platform based on Jupyter notebooks. And we have a lot of different things available and modifications done. So this is a platform that is optimized for quantum computing. So first off, you can see there are a bunch of different environments. For those of you who do a little bit of Pythonic development, many times you must be using Python environments. And so what we've done is we provided all the different Python environments for various challenges, as well as SDKs available in one place. So here, as you start to take your challenges, you'll see that you have JPMC challenge available, Python environment available here. I've already installed it, but you'll be able to go here and search JPMC and it should show up. For demo purposes, I can search IBM and you can see these are IBM Python environments. I can just click install and it'll start the installation procedure. And then I would just click add. And then what it does is allows me to start a kernel and import Rackhead. And so that's the beauty of qBraid. And here, how it ties up very nicely with the challenge you'll see on Aqora that Yanis presented is you'll go to Global Industry Challenge and you'll have, let's say, JPMC, and you just click launch on qBraid. We'll take you a handshake web page where you'll accept the permissions, and then we'll clone the necessary materials required for the challenge, and you'll be able to launch it on qBraid Lab. So the good thing would be all the software comes pre-installed, so you can just make an account and you're ready to hack without having to worry too much about how are you going to set up the Python environment, how are you going to set up the cloud accounts and connections. All of those is available for you. And you'll be able to track your devices again from the coding platform. All your jobs will show up here after you've submitted and after they're completed. That's pretty much it. If you want to know more, you can, of course, ask us a question on Aqora platform in the discussion section. But otherwise, go to docs.qbraid.com and you can ask any questions, how to submit quantum job, and it'll tell you, and it'll take you to the right page. That's pretty much it. Happy to answer questions at the end if you have any.
Great, Kanab. Thank you. And thank you to your team at qBraid and also Yanis, your team at Aqora for helping organize the challenge and providing the platforms. So yeah, with that, we'll move into the Q&A section. So there's a couple of coming into the chat. So first, Yanis, to you, we have a question on, will participants who are participating in multiple challenges see them as separate tracks in the system?
Yes. So you will be able to access all the individual competitions as individual pages, and you can make contributions independently to them.
Great. And I guess related to this, I think another question on forming teams. There's quite a few people asking on forming teams. If you could bring up that discussion board again and just show maybe in a little more detail, how do people post? Yeah, how do people post to either look to find a team or if they're looking to recruit for a team? Whilst you're pulling that up, so we will have a Q&A section, and we recommend having at least 4 to 5 people in your team. There's 5 maximum. You can form a team on your own, but we suggest with the workload that you have a couple of people on your team to kind of get the work done. But yeah, over to you, Yanis, with the discussion board.
Yeah, so I'm back to the event page. So there is this discussion section with the 2 topics already opened by you, Kieran. There's joining a team and recruiting for a team. So please use them. If you open a new topic, so if I would click on new topic here, all the members would receive an email for this one. So if you really want to communicate with everyone, send it here. But what you can do, so if you want to join a team, so post under this discussion, if you're looking to join a team, you can just comment here and say that you're looking for someone. You can also subscribe to this topic so that if you're looking for teammates, you would also receive the email and could reach out to the people by commenting on this one. So I could just say, I'm looking for teammates, and this will create the comment, and someone else could reply here, me too. Let's form a team. When you check out the individual discussions, individual competitions, if I would go here to the JPMC example, you will actually be asked on the qBraid platform under which, whether you want to make your submission as an individual or as a team. So in order to create such teams, you need to go to your profile section. So let me go here again, and then you can go to organizations and create an organization here, fill it all out. And then once you created it, like here, the Aqora one, can go to users and add members here. There is one owner and members, but it doesn't matter who of you would make the submission. So please have the discussion, create your organization here at the handle. And then when you check out the competitions, which you will also see on the competitions overview, then on qBraid, you can select in the CLI with which entity, so whether you're as an individual user or which of your teams you want to ask, which of those you want to participate in this use case and make your submissions. Right.
Excellent. Thank you for that overview. And another sort of follow-up to that, people are asking whether they can, be part of more than one team or be in multiple challenges. So the rules that we have are that you can be part of more than one team tackling a challenge, but you can't be part of two teams tackling the same challenge. So the system will block you out of that. And that's part of the first phase submission. We ask, who's in your team and what challenges or challenge you're tackling, so that we can make sure there aren't individuals in multiple teams tackling the same challenge. But we do recommend that you join multiple teams if you're interested in tackling all of the different challenges. But yes, the rules are that you cannot be in two teams tackling the same challenge. So moving to Kanav, I guess this question could go to you. So someone's asking, will the down-selected teams get assigned to appropriate computing and simulating platforms for their proposed solutions, or will they get some say in the distribution? So this question relates to the phase 2 and 3 of the challenge, where they'll get access to these computing and simulating platforms. Kanav?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll work with you to provide you enough qBraid credits, and you would have the flexibility to choose any of the simulators and any of the devices that we have available, including GPUs.
Excellent. Thank you, Kanav. Getting another question. Yes, good question. So someone's asking, is there a deadline for forming teams? So the deadline to form a team and submit that phase 1 is May 5th. So as long as you have a team formed and you fill out those criteria and submit by the deadline of May 5th, we will include you in the challenge and run you through the down select process. Just looking at any other questions. So someone's asking, will we be able to get specific help during the solutioning for our specific challenge use case? So yes, during the phase 2 and 3, we will be providing feedback on the submissions with the judges, which are formed of industry experts and also challenge providers. So we will work to have some specific help during those down select process. Another question again on team formation. So I'll clarify the limit of someone in a team is 5 teammates. We cap it at 5. There is no minimum. You can create a team on your own and tackle the challenges. But we suggest you have more than a few to tackle the different coding elements, the write-up elements, the more technical quantum specific elements. Someone's asking why they can't see the Aqora events and competitions. So the events and competitions will go live tomorrow. We'll be posting and launching the competition officially tomorrow with all the pages going up, and you'll be able to access those once you've registered on the site. Any other questions? A lot of team questions. I think we've answered a lot of these. So we will have a Q&A section also on the Aqora page. People can also send in questions if they have them specifically in the discussion boards, and we'll aim to have people on hand to answer those questions in a timely manner. I'm just monitoring the chat. Any other additional questions that I haven't tackled? Okay, excellent. Well, I think most of the questions have been tackled. If any questions haven't been, please keep posting them in the Q&A, and we'll get to those in the discussion boards. We can post all the questions in there and answer them. There's a lot of similar questions around team formations. We also have a Q&A document that we'll be uploading onto the Aqora pages. But thank you, Kanav and Yanis. Thank you for co-organizing this with us and for providing the platforms. With that, we're gonna move on and hear from some of the challenge providers. So first, we begin with our financial services use case. The first coming from JPMorganChase, challenging participants to develop solutions, scaling strategies, initial states, mixers, etc., to improve the performance of portfolio optimization capabilities. To say a few words on their challenge, please welcome Jacques Philocott, if he's on, with some opening remarks, and Brajesh Gupt, the VP and lead developer of JPMC's QO kit. Please take it away.
I suppose we're waiting for Jacques to join.
He? I don't see him on. Okay, let's just next slide, Anna Clark, and Brajesh, you'll just have to take the overview for JPMC's challenge.
Okay, so welcome everyone. I am Brajesh Gupt, and I'm a lead developer for the QO kit, which is short for basically quantum optimization kit for at JPMC Global Technology at Quantum team. So basically, you might have already heard about the algorithm, quantum approximate optimization algorithm, which is one of the cornerstones of current developments in solving use cases in many different areas, including quantum chemistry, quantum finance, and mathematical optimization. So QAOA basically it's a hybrid quantum classical algorithm where the optimization part itself is based on popular classical optimization algorithms such as like gradient descent and so on and so forth. Many of those advanced algorithms. The quantum part comes in when you need to compute an objective function which is classically hard to compute, and then there is a constant exchange of information between the classical CPU and the quantum QPU, basically at each step of the optimization, and at the end, when a convergence criteria is reached, you get to the final solution. So if you're familiar with classical machine learning ideas, this is very similar to what you do in a neural network, right? So what you do in a neural network is that you basically define a neural network that comes with some free weights, and as a part of this optimization, what you do is at each step of optimization, you compute the error function or like the objective function and its derivative. And based on these two information, you try to find the most optimal value of weights that minimizes this objective function. In classical quantum hybrid strategies such as QAOA, instead of a neural network, what you have is a parameterized quantum circuit. And what do I mean by that? So in a quantum circuit, you have these rotation angles, like such as Rx, Ry, Rz rotation angles. So these angles come as free parameters, right? Such as similar to the free weights in a neural network, you have free parameters that parameterize this quantum circuit. And then you design a quantum circuit basically to prepare an initial state, and using that initial quantum state, you compute the objective function for a given problem. Then, like the procedure is very similar to what you do in classical machine learning. You repeat this computation of objective function using quantum circuit over and over again, and its derivative as well. So, and it turns out that for certain problems, computing these objective functions and their derivatives becomes classically challenging, classically hard. And that's where these strategies involving quantum computers are going to be very useful and speed up the solutions to get some kind of quantum advantage, right? And then using the derivatives and the value of these objective functions, by running this optimization procedure over and over, again, you define some convergence criteria, and at the end, you arrive at a converged quantum circuit, which has these converged values of these angles that defines the final state representing the ground state of the quantum Hamiltonian or the objective function that you're looking for. So basically, that's the entire procedure, and this can be applied to many different kinds of scenarios, like even in quantum chemistry, for example, where you would like to find out the ground state of Hamiltonian. In case of financial services, you could use such strategies to basically find optimal portfolio, right? That is this is called the portfolio optimization problem, basically. And that is what the challenge here is. That use this qOKit for portfolio optimization, and you are expected to make progress on certain aspects, such as this qOKit is written for both CPU and GPU. You could run it on a local laptop or on a cluster, basically. When you go through the paper and read about QAOA, you would come to know about like initial state preparation, and then there's a mixer step, which is used basically to help prepare the initial state that is used to compute the objective function. So the expectation is that you would be able to make progress on any of these aspects, such as like you find some kind of strategy or changes in the code that would improve the single CPU implementation, right? Just like using a simple one CPU core, if you're able to improve the performance, that's a win, right? Or you could try to find a strategy where you scale up this problem on multiple CPUs and or GPUs, and you make progress over there by utilizing some kind of smart MPI or GPU MPI kind of packages and instructions, right? Then one could like also make progress on the theoretical aspects of designing these parameterized quantum circuits and using mixers for portfolio optimization. So that would also be considered like a win if you're able to make progress on that. And if you look at the GitHub page for the qOKit, you will find many example notebooks. And if you look at the challenge description at the end, there are links to example notebooks for portfolio optimization that this introduces very basic, like how one can use qOKit for portfolio optimization. Then there are notebooks for performance benchmarks that you can go through and see how the current benchmark for performance is performed. And if you are able to make any improvement on those performance benchmarks, I mean, that would be considered a win. So that's a when I say win, I mean that would be considered a good progress, right? So you could take that as the starting point. So these are just like guidelines. It's not like you only have to work on these three aspects, right? If you are able to like write good test suite to find, test various functionalities of QCode, that's also great. We will be happy to know that. Also, very important, if you're able to find a bug, something that is not working, something that is broken, and if we are able to fix that, we'll be very happy to see that as well. So, I mean, the world is an oyster, and QOKit is in front of you. So I encourage you to, dive deeper, take a look, and explore all the functionalities you can. Even if you're not able to make progress on portfolio optimization, and just able to make progress on how QOKit can be improved in general as a quantum software package, we'll welcome those ideas as well. So and if you have any questions, if you have access to the GitHub page, feel free to start an issue discussion, and I'll be looking at those issues. And if you have something interesting to contribute, happy to feel free to open a pull request, and we'll review that. And if it's worked, then definitely we'll merge that commit to the public repository. And if you have any questions, I'm here. Or when after this event, I can be found at the GitHub issues page.
Great, thank you, Brajesh. That's a great practical application for optimization, and this is a really useful library of tools for participants to access through the QOKit toolkit. So thank you for that outline. And just to reiterate, all the additional details with the overviews and the criteria and the documentation can be found on the Aqora pages that will be posted tomorrow. So with that, our next financial use case is provided by Wells Fargo, challenging you to reconstruct or simulate final system states based on partial evolving measurements for financial workflows. To build on the real-world relevance in finance of this challenge, please welcome Vanyo Markov, Distinguished Engineer at Wells Fargo. Vanyo, over to you.
Hi, guys. The proposed case is very challenging. Let's start, and very important for us. Our direction, one of our directions of quantum research, is to apply quantum channels to model complex stochastic financial processes. Especially, we are interested in developing of generative models of processes like price movement, volatility movement, interest rates, unemployment, and we are investigating the capabilities of quantum stochastic generators, of quantum systems as generator of classical processes which simulate these processes. In our work, we have already demonstrated that the quantum computing generators are superior in parsimony and expressiveness to the classical generative models. For example, a quantum generative model has quadratically less states, internal states, than the corresponding classical model. So if I have a classical model, I say hidden Markov model, I can compress it with quadratically less states. For example, from 1000 states for the classical model, we can go to 30 states for the 30 states in the Hilbert space, or at least in this case, to say 5-qubit system that will model this huge 1000 states classical system. And of course, implementation of hardware implementations of these quantum generators provide or promise very good scalability and, of course, computational tractability. Our research was inspired by the fact that there are strong analogies between financial systems and open quantum systems. The dynamics of both financial systems and quantum channels are governed by complex latent states. The real states are not observable. Partial information about the system states is accessible through noisy observations. And now the analogy. Market participants, for example, observe the system evolution through noisy observations, and they act conditional on these observations. When they act, they impact the latent state of the system. It is exactly a similar pattern when a quantum channel is observed, extracting classical information of the channel, which process is in general noisy process. It impacts the hidden state and the future evolution of the channel. So these two systems, they behave similarly, and we bet that the quantum channels or open quantum systems can be used as computational metaphor of the complex, partially observed noisy financial systems. This is the, how to say, the base of our research. Now, the objective of this challenge is to provide feasible, approximate solution to an important inverse problem related to the modeling framework I just discussed. Let's assume that we're given a quantum channel defined by n qubit unobserved quantum system and a 1 qubit ancillary. For simplicity, we can start with 2 qubit unobservable system, 2 qubit and 1 qubit ancillary. So we have 3 qubit system, and we have a unitary which is given, which entangles and evolves this 3 qubit system. After every application of the unitary, we can observe the ancillary, we can measure the ancillary, and then we reset the ancillary to ground state and apply the unitary again. If we repeat this process n times, we will generate a sequence of n observations, and these n observations, if this is a model, will represent our stochastic process of interest. Now we will assume that it is given the initial state of the system, of the ancillary, and the main system, not observable system. Let's imagine the non-observable system has 2 qubits and the ancillary is just 1 qubit, the simplest possible case. We know the initial states of both. Initially, they're not entangled, they're in product state. Then we know the unitary, which evolves them individually, and then it entangles them. And then we are given a sequence of observations. For example, and this sequence of observations is a binary sequence. To say, let's start with sequence of observations with length just one observation, 0 and 1. Can we design a quantum circuit using these conditions, preconditions, I just described, which reproduce the end state of the system after the observation? For example, again, we start, we apply the unitary, we measure the ancillary, and we receive outcome 1. Can we design a circuit that will prepare the end state of this system? Another circuit which prepares the end state. This is not easy, but known. This problem has no solution. I will not mention the solution name, it is very famous. But the problem comes when you try to prepare the state for 2 observations. For example, you apply the circuit twice, you measure after every application, and you get some outcome to say 0, 1. Can you prepare the state at the end of this computation using another quantum circuit, or using a quantum circuit and a measurement procedure? Because most probably you will need a measurement procedure to estimate or to prepare the end state. Can you prepare the end state approximately? For example, using some distance between quantum states, for example, the trace distance, and you say after, for example, polynomial number of executions of my circuit, I can estimate the end state with particular precision. Can you do this for n steps of the channel? This is the challenge, and this is difficult challenge. The problem in the classical computing is known as string consensus problem, and this problem has a lot of applications, especially in computational biology, and in our case, in our quantum research for financial processes. Just imagine, we have built a generative model of market movements. This generative model, it generates or it estimates the probability for particular sequence of movements up and down of the market. 1 up, 0 down. So for every sequence, our model will apply a probability of the sequence. Now, just imagine we are given a sequence, and we are asked what are the possible extensions, future evolutions of this sequence. For example, what is the probability the sequence to be continued with 0, 1, 0, 0? What we need to do is we need to prepare the system which in the state which reflects what we have observed up to now, and then we have to roll the system forward and estimate the future distributions of the evolution paths. Preparing the system in the given state is a non-trivial problem, and we do expect you to demonstrate your creativity, and again, not to provide exact solution, because the exact solution definitely will be computationally intractable, even for quantum computers, but to provide some approximate solution, approximate in probability and approximate in the precision of the generated state. This is the challenge. You're more than welcome to contact us and to discuss any of the conditions of this challenge and any possible ideas to go ahead. This is a real, I would say, difficult and scientifically worded problem.
Thank you, Vanya. We hope participants can demonstrate that quantum applications in improving financial modeling and these complex predictive processes. Thank you, Vanya, for providing that overview. So before we go to the next use case, I just want to reiterate the webinar has the chat function off, but the Q&A function on. We're not posting any of the questions, but our team is working in the background to highlight any questions to myself, and we're also noting them down to be added to the discussion board, which will be posted on the Aqora site tomorrow. So any questions people have, please keep posting them in the Q&A, and we'll aim to get to them either today during this webinar or address them in the discussion boards in Aqora. So with that, next slide, please, Anna Clark. So as Claudia from APS highlighted in her opening remarks, the IYQ is aligned with the UN's SDGs and is committed to quantum-enabled solutions to climate change. The next use case provider, the World Bank Group, poses a challenge directly aimed at utilizing quantum-driven modeling to improve climate insurance modeling and benefit vulnerable stakeholders. Let's see their risk management and insurance challenge in the following video.
Hello and welcome. We're proud to be part of the Global Industry Challenge, hosted during the International Year of Quantum. This is a moment to connect innovation with global impact. And at the World Bank Group, that's exactly what we're here to do. Let us introduce who we are, what we do. and how we're working every day to create a world free of poverty on a livable planet. Our mission is bold and clear: to create a world free of poverty on a livable planet. Every action we take, every partnership we build, and every challenge we tackle is driven by this powerful vision. Let's explore how we make it happen. The World Bank Group is one of the world's largest sources of funding and knowledge for developing countries. Our vision is simple yet ambitious: a world free of poverty on a livable planet. Our mission: to end extreme poverty and boost shared prosperity by building a better bank that drives development which is inclusive of everyone, resilient to shocks like climate change, pandemics, and conflict, and sustainable through job creation, human development, and access to clean water, clean energy, and more. We are one group, but we work through 5 specialized institutions, each with a unique role in our mission: the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development (IBRD), the International Development Association (IDA), the International Finance Corporation (IFC), the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency (MIGA), and the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes (ICSID). Together, we provide financing, expertise, and solutions that empower countries to grow stronger and more resilient. We've been on this journey for 80 years. From our birth at the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944, to rebuilding infrastructure post-World War II, to tackling poverty in the 70s, supporting economies in transition in the 80s and 90s, and today, focusing on sustainable development and global partnerships. Every chapter has brought us closer to a world where prosperity and peace can thrive. The challenges we face today are complex, connected, and evolving. That's why we focus on 5 key priorities: people through education, health and social protection; prosperity, by strengthening institutions and fighting poverty; planet, by addressing climate, agriculture, water, and inclusion; infrastructure through energy, transport, and sustainable urban development; and digital, empowering transformation through technology. We also tackle cross-cutting issues like gender equality and conflict resilience, because true development must be inclusive and stable. We work in more than 170 countries across 6 major regions: Africa, East Asia and Pacific, Europe and Central Asia, Latin America and the Caribbean, Middle East and North Africa, and South Asia. Our reach is global, but our focus is always local. Partnering with governments and communities to solve their toughest development challenges. In fiscal year 2024, we committed an incredible $117.5 billion in support. This includes loans, grants, equity investments, and guarantees. We're backing progress across every region: $38 billion in Africa, $24.7 billion in Europe and Central Asia, $19.4 billion in Latin America and the Caribbean, and more, because every region deserves a future filled with opportunity and stability. What exactly do? We lead development projects. We generate and share knowledge. We deliver products and services. We build and grow partnerships. And we measure impact through tools like the World Bank Group Scorecard. Our job is to bring the right resources to the right places, so countries can unlock their full potential. The results speak for themselves. In the first half of fiscal 2024, we helped feed 156 million people, improved schooling for 280 million students, provided clean water, hygiene, or sanitation to 59 million people, enabled 77 million to access sustainable transport, generated 17 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity, and reached 287 million people with social protection support. We've also committed that 45% of all our financing by 2025 will go toward climate action, equally focused on mitigation and adaptation. That's real action driving real change. As we continue our mission to reduce poverty and create a livable planet, we must confront one of the defining issues of our time: climate risk. And for that, we're turning to the power of quantum innovation and inviting bold thinkers to step up. Across the globe, extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and more destructive. Floods, hurricanes, wildfires, these disasters are devastating communities, damaging infrastructure, and disrupting economies. For low-income regions, the impact is especially severe. And here's the problem. As the risk increases, many insurers are pulling out of high-risk areas. Without insurance, banks won't finance development projects. Assets become unprotected. Economies stall. Vulnerable families are left with nothing. We're reaching a breaking point. And that's exactly why this challenge matters. Let's break it down. Right now, many local insurers lack the tools and capacity to deal with climate risk. At the same time, global reinsurers are stepping back from the market. The financial sector grows hesitant, and people on the ground are left exposed. But here's the opportunity. With the right technology, we can flip the script. We can give insurers the confidence to return. We can help banks unlock capital. We can make coverage affordable and accessible, even in the most vulnerable areas. And to do that, we're calling on the power of quantum computing. Your mission is to help build a quantum-driven, climate risk insurance model that works for everyone: insurers, governments, financial institutions, and families. Here's what your solution might include. 1. Quantum-enhanced risk prediction. Imagine using quantum algorithms to process massive climate datasets and predict extreme weather events accurately, up to 50 years into the future. 2. Quantum optimization. Use quantum tools to design better risk-sharing models, optimize reinsurance strategies, and diversify portfolios, even in the toughest markets. 3. Dynamic pricing. Enable real-time pricing that adapts to changing climate conditions, helping insurers stay profitable while keeping coverage sustainable. And 4. Inclusive insurance solutions. Create microinsurance for low-income families. Use parametric insurance to deliver fast payouts after disasters, streamline underwriting, cut admin costs, and make protection possible for everyone. To support your innovation journey, we've assembled a rich set of resources, from data and research to real-world case studies to cutting-edge quantum tools. These materials are designed to inform, inspire, and empower your solution. Let's take a look. Let's start with the data. You'll have access to insurance market insights from AXCO, global climate dashboards, and Swiss Re Sigma research, including their 2023 catastrophe report. And from the World Bank, check out the Climate Change Knowledge Portal and ThinkHazard for localized climate risk data. These resources are essential for accurate modeling and impact forecasting. Next, ground your solution in strategy. Explore thought leadership from the annals of the New York Academy of Sciences, the IMF's macro-financial modeling reports, and the IFC's Building Resilience Index. These will help you frame your problem and design stronger, more resilient systems. Real-world examples are key. Learn how insurers are already using climate models, from life insurance case studies to disaster insurance systems in Latvia. These case studies show how theory becomes practice and impact. To push boundaries, explore how quantum is transforming insurance. We recommend insights from LinkedIn, Deloitte, MITRE, and Moody's on quantum modeling, risk pricing, and cyber insurance. These reads will help you align your ideas with cutting-edge industry thinking. You'll also get hands-on access to top quantum frameworks: IBM Qiskit, Google Circ, and Microsoft Q#. At the World Bank Group, we believe that bold ideas and global collaboration have the power to create real, lasting change. You've now seen the challenge, explored the opportunities, and been equipped with powerful tools to make a difference. Now it's your turn. We invite you to think big, to explore boldly, and to innovate with purpose. Because this is more than just a technical challenge. It's about shaping the future of resilience, financial protection, and hope for people, communities, and entire nations. By combining the power of quantum computing with visionary thinking, you have the opportunity to design solutions that truly change lives. So let's begin. Let's build a future where no one is left behind when disaster strikes. We can't wait to see what you create. Thank you and good luck.
An incredibly timely and important challenge there. So following the detailed overview of the World Bank's mission and the challenge, please welcome Laura McCannels, Chief Innovation Officer at the International Finance Corporation, and Omid Sabari, Principal Industry Specialist at the International Finance Corporation, for some additional comments. Please, Laura and Omid, over to you.
Thank you, and happy World Quantum Day. Thank you for having us here. I will not go over what the World Bank does because you already know that, but we just want to recognize that quantum technologies are really set to bring transformative changes across various sectors. And our goal is to really, in this challenge, to learn and understand the opportunities and challenges that these technologies pose, and to enhance preparedness to support our clients and countries and the private sector. So we want to ensure that we learn as much as possible, and we are thrilled to be here. So here, let me pass it to my colleague, Omid. He will really explain the challenge.
Thank you, Laura. I'm very happy to be here. I think I want to thank the Global Industry Challenge for letting us to present this challenge to the world. From our point of view, you heard the challenge. The challenge that we are facing more and more is the impact of the climate change on communities. You have seen what happened in Los Angeles, for example, with wildfires. And only a few days before the wildfire, insurance sector pulled out from the fire, and then people were left with the losses on their hands. But when you look at this at the global stage, many low-income families or communities are being impacted day on day. You heard about the challenge elements. We had few pieces, and obviously solving this challenge is not possible to solve the whole challenge. Our invitation to you is that look at those elements and see where we can provide a solution. And as Laura said, if we would not be able to come up with a perfect solution within a few months, but our goal is to identify ways that we can tackle these challenges, right? Either on the climate change, on insurance modeling, or on how we can calculate losses and then link the losses to different families. I give you one example for you to just appreciate the way it works. We would be happy to provide you more information. For example, in the Philippines, there are 100 million people. The losses every year is $4 billion based on climate events. So if you distribute that to each family, there would be a few cents that they need to pay every month to cover the losses for the entire country. The government cannot pay that because the government doesn't have the funds. The insurance companies, they cannot pay it. The idea is that how can we come up with a model that each and every party benefits, but at the same time the losses does not fall on the single family that doesn't have enough funds to cover. So we invite you to explore these areas, and if you need any more information, we would be here to support you in next couple of months to go through this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you, Omid. As you can hear, a challenge that with increasing natural disasters around the world is an ever-pressing issue that can hopefully be tackled with these quantum-enabled solutions. So next, we shift gears into the life science industry and hear from NeuroQuantum Nexus, which is a collaboration between the University of Maryland, the Potomac Quantum Innovation Center, powered by ourselves, Connected DMV, and also Cleveland Clinic. They challenge you to use quantum and hybrid computing to analyze brain activity data to uncover new insights beyond traditional methods. We'll start, please, with their video.
Good morning and welcome to the International Year of Quantum Global Industry Challenge at the NeuroQuantum Nexus. My name is Wolfgang Losert, Professor of Physics at the University of Maryland, College Park.
And I am Alfredo Nava Tudela, Director of Scientific Computing at the Institute for Physical Science and Technology, also at the University of Maryland in College Park.
The University of Maryland is committed to advancing quantum computing research for neuroscience through our NeuroQuantum Nexus Challenge, which is a collaborative endeavor with the National Quantum Lab. The NeuroQuantum Nexus Challenge will bring together the National Capital Region's strengths in quantum computing, AI and machine learning, and in neuroscience to establish the US as a leader at these converging fields and to build global collaborations. By focusing on the complex challenges of neuroscience, the NeuroQuantum Nexus will accelerate both quantum research and neuroscience and drive innovation in neurotechnology and also broader quantum applications that address critical market needs and improve patient outcomes. Our goal is to foster collaborations with other universities and industry to address this exciting and complex challenge at the NeuroQuantum Nexus. So here's the challenge. The challenge is to develop quantum computing-based algorithms that will discover higher order features in neural network activity. This is a pressing challenge that will provide both calcium signal and electrical signal information on neural networks. And here is the issue. For these data sets, which are in existence now and growing, collective structures are well known. So the rationale for this search for collective signals through quantum computing is the recent discovery of several brain initiative teams that sensory information is encoded in collective firing events of small groups of neurons. And since the nature of quantum computing is well suited for processing such collective behavior, the primary goal of this challenge will be to extract meaningful insights into neural collective circuit activity that classical methods may have missed. Let me explain what we're talking about. So what we're asking you to look at is activity of neural circuits that are internally highly connected. If you look at the billions of neurons in a human brain, and you zoom in on the auditory cortex, which is highlighted in the left picture, you can see different regions of the auditory cortex responding to different frequencies of sound. And then if you zoom in further at one region of this auditory cortex, you can see that it consists of multitudes of cells, all highly interconnected. So in the right figure here, what you see from amazing data with cryo-electron microscopy taken with nanometer scale resolution by Google Research and the Lichtman Lab at Harvard is the intricate details of connections of neurons in the human brain. And what you're seeing is the critical challenge that quantum computing may help us address. Each neuron, so the right picture shows a single neuron in a human brain. Each neuron is connected to through thousands of synapses to other cells. So it is a highly connected neural circuit. And as a consequence, the neural circuit processes information collectively. Now, participants may explore the relative quantum algorithms to try to characterize such higher order connectivities. They may use VQA, QAOA, quantum neural networks, or quantum graph neural networks. And the goal is to compare quantum or hybrid algorithms rigorously against classical state-of-the-art higher order analysis methods such as multivariate autographic modeling. And what we expect is that participants will have the opportunity to demonstrate some of their algorithms on NISQ devices or hybrid quantum classical to analyze the provided neural network data sets. The two focus areas of this challenge are as follows. One focus area is to develop NISQ algorithms to correctly classify cooperative structures in calcium signaling and electrophysiological data. Focus area 2 is to develop quantum implementations of cellular automata that mimic the cooperative structures of neural data. Now, here are the two data sets that will be shared as part of this challenge. The first data set is so-called calcium imaging data sets, where the activity of the brain is followed by calcium imaging. In this example, it is sensory information encoded in collective firing of small groups of neurons. So the movie you're seeing highlights active cells in the auditory cortex of an awake mouse that is listening to sounds. And this data set was generated by Zach Bowen in Professor Carnold's lab and was analyzed both for correlations and for higher order structures that are revealed in this publication. But we believe this is just scratching the surface. There may be other higher order features in this data that are yet to be explored. Data set 2 is electrophysiology, the direct measurement of electrical activity. And to analyze electrical activity, spike sorting is being used to extract the discrete firing patterns of individual neurons from background noise and infer signals from nearby neurons. And this is crucial for investigating how neural networks function. In data set 2, we are going to look at a new tool called Spike Interface, which provides a unified framework for such spike analysis. And in the publication, very well cited publication from 2020, there is a data set that will be used for the study. And the goal of the challenge is to propose a quantum algorithm or hybrid classical quantum algorithm that performs spike analysis and compare it to the outcomes of spike interface. There is a third data set that will be shared by a company that is developing new electrophysiology measurement tools called qBraid, and they will share a third data set for which, again, classical analysis has been done and will be provided. Now, the first focus area was to analyze data. The second focus area is to use quantum computing to mimic neurological data. Here, the recent discovery of quantum cellular automata comes into play because those can exhibit complex behaviors similar to those present in classical cellular automata and allow for simulations of complex dynamics, as you can see in the picture below. So focus area 2 is to develop quantum cellular automata that may capture the higher order correlations of the dynamics of neural circuits that are in the data that are being provided for this challenge. Challenge finalists will also gain computing and simulation access to a number of hardware and simulation tools, and access and licensing information will be shared with participants.
You may reach out to me at my email address, ant@umd.edu, for facilitation of all of the access of the data sets.
The goal is really to validate the capabilities of quantum computing to capture higher order correlations on data sets that we know have intrinsic higher order correlations due to the highly connected and entangled nature of the brain. And to demonstrate the power of quantum computing in an area where it's very relevant to brain science and brain health. We'd like to acknowledge the support from the Air Force Office of Scientific Research Biophysics program for supporting research at the convergence of quantum science and biophysics and helping us assemble this challenge. Professor Carnold at Johns Hopkins University and Zach Bowen for providing the data on collective information processing, and qBraid for providing one of the electrophysiology data sets. But at the bottom of the slide, you see the challenge development team. Please feel free to reach out to any of us for further information, and to Dr. Nava Tudela to obtain access to the data sets and to support if you need help with teaming. We thank you for your interest, and we look forward to seeing the challenge being addressed. Thank you.
It's a fascinating application there, challenging you to discover new insights that go beyond traditional methods. I just want to reiterate that all the discussion boards will be on the Aqora system. So in order to get feedback and connect with teammates and teams and the industry providers, please use the discussion boards on Aqora. To add some additional comments, please welcome Wolfgang Lozert, Professor and Interim Associate Dean for Research at the University of Maryland. Over to you, Wolfgang.
Thank you, Kieran, and thank you to Connected DMV for organizing this global industry challenge. It's really a pleasure to, on behalf of the NeuroQuantum Nexus, to introduce this challenge to make sense of neural data sets. And the challenge is really, as mentioned in the video, exacerbated by the fact that a number of new neurotechnology tools are going to measure hundreds or thousands or 10,000s or 100,000s of locations in the brain simultaneously. And the higher order connections are very difficult to measure with traditional means. So new tools to measure higher order connectivity and higher order clusters in the data. This is a very important use case, and we found 3 data sets and look forward to answering questions that interested participants may have. And Dr. Nava Tudela and I and the rest of the team are looking forward to seeing your interest and solutions.
Great, thank you, Wolfgang, for that unique challenge in the life science sector. So with that, our final challenge, if we could have the slides back up. Our final challenge comes from MITRE. So MITRE is one of the largest federally funded research centers in the world, focused on several critical problems. The challenge that they pose is on infrastructure and transportation, challenging participants to enhance the durability and design of road materials by modeling complex chemical interactions. To give you a brief overview of their challenge, the full challenge will be posted on the Aqora page tomorrow. Asphalt binders are critical components in modern infrastructure, and the US currently spends 30 to 50 billion annually on road maintenance. Extending the life of asphalt to 20 to 30 years would significantly reduce maintenance costs and environmental impact. Recent studies have demonstrated that quantum chemistry methods can better capture the effects of oxidation, charge transfer, and binding energies of asphalt. Your challenge that they pose is to undergo a 3-stage challenge involving system identification and property selection, model, Hamiltonian development, and quantum algorithm implementation to explore quantum simulations of asphalt binder degradation. As I said, more information can be found on the Aqora challenge pages posted tomorrow, where we'll have an outline, the official challenge document, and also the discussion board for MITRE and team to answer any questions you might have. And with that, we'll move on to the Q&A. We have a few minutes for Q&A. So in the discussion board, we see there's a few more questions coming up about team formations. So just to reiterate, there is a maximum number of 5 people in teams. There is no minimum, but we recommend teams of 3 to 5 to balance the workload. We recommend your teams diverse, with teammates filling the roles of coder, data, and technical lead, someone who's content and knowledge expert, someone who can look at the business and production side of it, and a project manager and team coordinator. This is a global challenge, so your teammates might be in different time zones and in different places, so it's important that you have enough people to pull that all together. Please note that you may only participate on 1 team per use case challenge. However, you're welcome and encouraged to join multiple use case challenges. For example, you could be on 1 team for life sciences and submit through that, and on another for a financial services submission. There's also a question on can a team win more than one challenge? Again, yes, there is one team that will win for each use case. And you can win more than one challenge as long as you're on different teams for those, and you'll be competing in those challenges just as all the other teams would be. I see a question earlier about IP, so to readdress that, there were a couple of questions regarding specific competition terms and conditions. So terms are addressed in the documentation you go through during the registration process. If there are further details needed or questions, please contact the team directly at quantum@connecteddmv.org. I'm looking to see any other questions coming in. So someone's asking about the phase 1 submission. So to reiterate on that, the phase 1 submission starts from tomorrow on April 15th. Teams then have until May 5th to form your teams, sign up to the qBraid and Aqora platforms, and submit a one-page PDF with your team name, team participants and roles, the qualifications for tackling the challenge, and then a brief description on the challenge you've chosen or multiple challenges you've chosen to solve, with a high-level overview of your proposed solution, the technical approach, including how you will utilize quantum computing, feasibility, and advantage over classical methods, and also the projected industry impact. Another question here. So when we say use case, we're talking about the challenge providers, including Wells Fargo, JPMorganChase, etc. Another question on the recording. So yes, this webinar will be recorded. We aim to post this on our YouTube page tomorrow, which will also be linked out from the Aqora site. So you'll have time to look through this in more detail and access the videos for the challenges. Thank you for checking on that one. Just looking through any more questions coming in. Yes, so there's a question on registration. So that anyone who hasn't registered for the Global Industry Challenge, please go to pquic.org/challenge. There'll be more information on there about some of the providers, the different organizing committee, and also a link to register to the challenge, and you'll be taken to the Aqora and qBraid pages and shown instructions on how to sign up to those. You can also access this webinar by tomorrow and find the live demo that Aqora and qBraid went through earlier. Someone's asking here if they needed prior experience in quantum computing. So while experience in quantum computing will be beneficial, it's not explicitly required. So we encourage diverse participation. So teams may consist of members with varying expertise. And as highlighted by Claudia, this is a collaborative event. So efforts between individuals of different skills can lead to some great innovative solutions. Again, highlighting some of the key timelines and key dates. So the launch is today, but we'll be posting all of the Aqora pages tomorrow once it goes live. You'll then have from April 14th to May 5th to form your teams and make that first submission. We'll then do a first round of down select, and then you'll have until May 28th to do the second phase submission. We'll be posting some more details on what that submission will entail. You'll then have the next down select and the final submission, which is due June 29th. We'll then notify you of the winners and announce those. And we'll have a ceremony at the Quantum World Congress, which you'll be hearing more about soon. Okay, any final questions? Please post them in chat. Again, we'll be posting all of these in our discussion board on the Aqora page, and we'll aim to address any additional questions. Okay, and with that, we'll wrap up the question part. So now to close us out with some final remarks, we will welcome back Connected DMV's CEO and President George Thomas. But first, we'll take a look at the quantum journey and how we got here today.
Thank you, Kieran. That video is such a terrific reminder of the history of the quantum journey and why we are all here today and what we are able to do. And it's surprising that it's only been 100 years since such a world-changing idea was put on the plate, and now we are here actually developing solutions from it. Thank you, everybody, again for joining. Anna, if you could put up the slides, please. It's my pleasure to kind of close out the session for today. The slide you have in front of you represents from last week 50 plus countries that the registered participating teams are from. So this is truly kind of global in that sense of the term. Besides the 5 hubs that are in place, participation and teams from these countries are going to tremendously help us move the needle to both fulfill the International Year of Quantum's requirement of amplifying quantum awareness throughout the world and increasing quantum talent pipelines. So people going to school, educating, figuring out what it is, even experienced folks in other adjacent industries kind of jumping into the world of quantum computing is very, very important for the UNESCO International Year of Quantum idea for 2025. And we are really glad that the challenge is able to kind of help support it. To all the participants who have joined today on the call and who will be listening on the webinars recording downstream, and to all the partners who are called here today, thank you for being part of the journey. As you can see from the video that was just shown, we stand on the shoulders of giants, and your engagement really represents the best of what we can do collectively. Let's take this kind of impactful step to move forward to a world of quantum, to a quantum-ready future, as it were. If you could go to the last slide. In conclusion, let me do some call to action. If you have not already done so, please register at bquick.org/challenge. It'll take you to the appropriate places within both the platforms. Take a look at the detailed challenge pages. They will all be available online tomorrow. Form, and if you haven't already finalize your teams. Use the Aqora discussion format that Giannis presented to connect with each other, to find more team members, to organize. That will be the kind of main system to communicate to the industry partners, to us, and to everybody. So while there were a few emails that were sent during this, please keep the communications channels there so we can make sure that it's all falling into the right pipelines as we go through the next 10 to 11 weeks into this challenge. Thank you to the organizing team, qBraid, Aqora, IQC, American Physical Society, Connected DMV, us, of course, and the Quantum World Congress team. Thank you to the industry challenge providers, the World Bank Group, Wells Fargo, JPMorganChase, MITRE, and the NeuroQuantum Nexus for the 5 challenges, the 5 use cases that everybody has access to compete in. And thank you to everybody who joined today and those that will be watching the recording. So let's get started. Goodbye for now and good luck.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck.